Hello and welcome to Farmhouse Restoration episode 3. Okay, it's the next morning. The old Dodge is full of yet another load. We'll take that to the dump. And then the porch we've got stabilized by some 6x6s on either end. We're going to basically hang joists in between the 2x10s rather than set them on top of what was there before. So anyway, we're making progress. Now we're going to go to the dump again. Okay, this is not the column spacing that we're going to use. The column spacing is basically going to be 1, 2, 3 over here, like that. So those will be those 3 over there. Then you will have, that's going to be your left side. Then you'll have 1 where the brick is, 2, and 3. And what that'll do is that'll create equal column spacings on this side and equal column spacings on this side. So you got to look at the 2 stubby ones now. That space in between the 2 stubby ones is just under 8 feet. So that will make everything up to code and nice and strong. So that's what's happening there. And we've got new joists, Ticos, and a new band board. So this deck is going to be much stronger and better than it was, the porch rather. Still have lots of lumber left over. I ended up putting that, it's gonna all go in the garage. That's one project I can do tomorrow. Just clean this mess up. So that's all we're doing for today out here. And then in here, we got rid of all the plumbing and the wiring. And what we did is, this was our original feed coming up that fed everything in the kitchen. So we just went over, this wire is this old cloth shit. Now I've stripped that back so it wasn't terrible, but I very gently connected that back together. That's going down, so now we still have our power in the bathroom, and we have our outlet is back on. There's no other electric in here. I need to finish getting those nails off. And then now that this is all cleaned off, our joist over here with the big giant holes in this mess, we are going to run another 2x8 all the way across there. I don't really see anything sagging, but I think back here there's some cobbling going on there, and so we're going to put another joist in there because I don't know what this mess is, because we definitely got, that's down below there, and so anyway, so we'll deal with that tomorrow. All right, and that's what's happened. This room is, we finished cleaning it up more, ripped up the linoleum that was down here. So again, more progress has been made. All right, so this is where we're at the end of the day today. Pretty beefy porch. That's our new deck. Okay, so we're going to try and use these wolf column wraps today. What we had to do, come like this, we're going to put glue in between the V groove and glue them together, and we had to cut them off at the top but then they're slightly wider than the column. So what we did is we used our scraps to pad out. That's 36 inches where our railing's going, and that's just something to nail into on the top. So I've not used these before. I'm not super thrilled with them at the moment, but we'll see how this works out. I just wish they would wrap tight around a 6x6 and not have to pad all this stuff out, but I guess when you have clips and things, you need the extra room for that. So I'm fastening the bottom, and that's got TimberTech screws in the top, so that's not going anywhere. Okay, so this is our first wolf column. I just made a little base out of the 1x8. I still need to do the same thing on the top. This corner looks pretty horrible. We can fix that, obviously, but and then I've got these screws in there that also need to be filled. So I bought some trim screws. The first attempt, every time I use one of these new products, the first attempt isn't so good. Now, so here's what I've learned. The glue works. These corners look great. So what we're going to try and do this time is we're going to try and snap that together, which was not happening before. And the reason it probably wasn't happening is because when I was padding out these columns, what I was using was a hair too thick. So I've got some 1/4-inch plywood that I can make into blocks, but yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this to 85.5. Here's another one. But then after I get our pieces off, I'm going to experiment with them to see how that snap actually works, because it didn't seem like it was snapping yesterday. Okay, so it does in fact connect. Not very well, but it does. So we're going to add, well, before what I was doing is I was taking this excess and using this to pad out my 6x6, but now we're going to use this 1/4-inch here and give us a little more wiggle room and see if that works better. So we're going to rip some of this. Okay, I got my little pads nailed on there. I guess technically I should have one at the top for where I'm going to nail my trim piece on, so we put one up there. But yeah, so basically we're tight against here, tight against here, and we pat it out there and there. Okay, so now the dry fit is better. I'm not fighting it to close. This will close up and snap in there. All right, so number 2 won't be as disastrous as number 1, but we do have that in there. If we're trying to click it in, put those screws in there, we're going to fill those. Those 2 screws will be, you can see this here. So that's not great. All that can be fixed and you'll never notice it. After we caulk and paint all this stuff. But this still does not want to click closed. Doesn't want to snap. So, but we've got a lot of glue in there. We've taped it, and this stuff that was glued, these corners, I mean, they're together. So the glue works. So I'm going to try to put a 3rd one on here now, knowing what I'm doing. There's going to be no screws involved whatsoever, which there shouldn't be. And then we're going to try and glue it all up. And then this one will hopefully be perfect, as will those 3. Anyway, live and learn. Okay, we'll see if the 3rd time is the charm. We're going to use no screws. We're just going to use the column wrap and the white hot glue and some tape if it doesn't click in there. So okay, so this one snapped in, it worked out perfectly. Third time's the charm. I'm going to put some tape around there anyway, and that should make the rest of them absolutely no nail holes anywhere and nice corners. So these work. I just needed to know how to install them, and it takes a second because I'm used to working with different stuff, and you know, quite frankly, I'm not as you may have guessed, the world's greatest carpenter, but you know, I kind of know just enough to be dangerous, as I said. But anyway, that snapped in there and everything, so I'm just going to put a little tape on there to hold it on, and then we'll let the glue do its job. Okay, so these 2x4s, that's the old wall that was the back of the shower wall section. I took that out. I'm going to build a new one out of 2x6s. That way I can actually have some of it on the joist over here. You can see the mark from where the other one was, which was off the joist, and this floor's a bit rotten, but it's going to be fine because we're going to cover it with Durock and tile, and everything else is pretty solid. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. Also, we weren't really catching that that stud in the wall, so we're going to use 2x6s. We're going to be nice tight against this tub. Okay, so we've got a nice high head height, so people 6'2", 6'3" can get under there and take a shower. That's going to be our controls, and of course that'll be our tub valve. Looks off center, but if you look at where the actual center of the tub is, we've got plenty of room here to mount everything. So that is our much better, new, sturdier shower framing. Okay, I'm getting my tubs around, and I found the best vehicle to use for this is the minivan, because we can just hook straps in there, and strap it right around there, and it's not really going anywhere. So anyway, take that to the house. Okay, I got my 3 shower pieces all up in the bathroom, ready to be installed. The plumber did not show up as planned. I've had multiple plumbers say they're going to be here, look at it, not show up, which is getting me closer and closer to just doing everything myself, which I can do, but I'm very slow, but I can do it. So if I have to, that's what I'm going to do. I'm still hoping that we can get plumber. Then with the concrete dry, I've got my temporary stairs going onto the new sidewalk, which is really nice. And then I also went ahead and trimmed out the bottom of these columns. We'll do the same thing on the top, and then we'll put our railing on. We can get the whole porch. Not sure what to do about this tree here. That one's going bye-bye as we discussed. I haven't decided about that one yet. Anyway, there it is. This room got finished. I put a piece of base down there. It got painted. There's our window we got. It goes above the bed so nobody can see in. Still got to do something with this closet in terms of a door. I'm not sure what's happening there, but that's that. So, covered in various dusts from PVC from trimming, so I'm going to call that the end of this episode. I guess this is episode 3. We're making fantastic progress here. And we'll see you on the next episode. The next episode hopefully will include some plumbing, and I'd like to get that upstairs bathroom back together, but I got to wait for plumbing. So we're going to be doing it ourselves or with a plumber. So we'll find out soon. See you next time. Welcome to Farmhouse Rehab. Plumbing time. I just put this together. What are we on? This might be episode 4. It looks like it's not 100% straight. I might have to put a coupling in there. Anyway, you probably screw it down and it'll twist it a little bit. I'm still having no luck with plumbers, so I'm just doing this myself, which takes me a lot longer, but it gets done. And I soldered this our tub control together. I put valves on it so we can shut those off. I just ran it down in the tub so it'd be nice and cool. But yeah, that thing looks, that's pretty straight. It's maybe off a hair, but like I said, it'll twist enough. So let's go in there. Should be about like that. So now I'm going to put up our shower walls, and I've seen this done, putting the shower walls up first and then put the plumbing in, or put the plumbing in first, then the shower walls. But I'm going to do the shower walls, and then I can affix my plumbing to my blocking and push it in to the exact depth that it needs to go, which that green thing will help me do. So now I'm going to put these shower walls on. In the last episode, we built this wall here. That's going to be perfect there. We can hit that there. It's these outside studs. I may need to add another one over there. My other question is, and I guess that just floats up like that a little bit. Shove that all the way back there, and yep. Okay. I'm gonna dry fit this on here, put a couple of screws in this, and then see what happens next. Okay. So there's our gap there, which is the same. And if you look in there, if you can see it, there's little feet. There's a foot right in there. Can you see it? There it is. And that keeps from going any lower than that. So I guess we fill this with caulk, but that's in there. That's level with the top. This goes back here. This breaks on that stud. So we're going to put some screws in this thing. Okay. Now we are in line with that edge down there. And our top is level over here. So that required some finagling. See, I've got a couple extra holes, but anyway, I'll put those in there. Now I'm going to put this one on. Get everything lined up before I really start drilling and screwing in holes. Okay, so now our surround's in. We're good at the bottom. The top's all even, so we're all in there nice. I think I've got all my screws in. No, this side I got to put some screws in, so let me do that. And then we're going to do this rough and shit, which is going to be a little trickier, but we should be able to figure it out, right? It's just measuring. Measure once, cut twice. No, measure twice, cut once. That's going to be the idea. Okay, there's our shower thing way up there, controls, and our tub spout, our walls in. Here's what it looks like back here. That's all blocked in and nice and solid. And then turn these off if we want to. From back here, well, I don't know why we'd want to turn them off, but we can. And then that's going to be our PEX fittings. And then that's obviously screwed in up there. So it's all nice and solid. So I think that is it. Now what I should do is probably notch a 2x4. Do that not today, but just so I can put a couple more screws in this and really tie that together. So I think that will be the thing to do there. Okay, I got a vanity from one place earlier, and now we're going to get a giant bay window from here, from Southern Sales. This was from a Facebook Marketplace ad. That's going to be our vanity for upstairs. So yeah, getting stuff today. Okay, now we've got this big vast Pella bay window loaded up. We got that loaded up, so now we're going to head back to the house. Trusty blue diesel F-250. Okay, we've gotten our giant bay window into the Quonset hut, so we're good. And also our vanity. Okay. Now I'm gonna get the hot blast heater out of this basement, since I have my trailer, which has my winch on it. And I've got a plan. We're gonna get this cart under here, and then we're going to strap said cart onto this. Then we're going to make a ramp of plywood, and then we're going to pull hot blast out of here using winch and my snatch block to get the correct angle. Okay, now we got this here. We got this here. It's going to be very interesting. And this going to there. Now we're going to try and winch it out of there. Okay. Here, you want to film this while... What? Say action.
Action.
Okay, so I've trimmed out the new door outside. Now I'm going to go do the inside. Okay, this is before. Now we're going to trim this out. Okay, and so what we're going to do to set our reveal is just use the hinge. So that's where that is. We're just off that hinge. So that's how much reveal we got. Whoops, Jesus. That's how much reveal we got. So we'll do that all the way around. And I've cut that up there so we have that much up top. So there's going to be some tricky stuff down here. But I'm going to push this out to exactly 5.5 inches off my reveal so I can go straight down here, and I just need to make one cut and down as opposed to going in and then down. Then I've got this in the way. So I will cut this now off 5.5 inches off of that midpoint there. So this is going to be my reveal on top, and there's my cut on the bottom. But this I had to cut out for, but this is why I've been carrying my router around for God knows how many days. So now I'm going to finally get to use it. Okay, there's the door all trimmed out. The top is a little problematic, but anyway, we got it, so there we go. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. I don't know where I am in this video, but I've started putting some drywall up above the shower. I'm using purple board for the whole room. And let's see what else is out. I'm making a nailer, so this is the new vent that's gone in there. And we've got our nailer to catch some drywall here, which will butt up to that. And I'll clean this off surface here. We'll just paint that and caulk it right to the drywall. And then this nailer here, this is gonna go, let's see here, let me pause this for a minute. Okay, so now we can nail across here. And then here's gonna catch this, and then I'm gonna put a block down there and one more 2x4 up to there. Or maybe, if it's 96 inches, I can just avoid that, which it looks like it might be. I can just toenail it in there. Anyway, that's that encapsulated, and we put the factory edge on here so we can just caulk right down that seam and paint that, and obviously cover that. So that'll look nice and clean. And there's more stuff we have to do up here, and this hinge is all floppy. This is the bathroom. It's a giant mess right now, but we've got our light up in there. And so anyway, more drywall is going to happen now, but at this point I'm going to end this episode, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one of Farmhouse Rehab.